Hello, welcome to another podcast from BCFC, the project, Stephen Beck. Don't forget, if you like our stuff, please just hit the subscribe button, give us a like as well, because it helps. And this YouTube station, as you probably are aware, is linked to BCFC, the project, our Facebook group, which is a big Facebook group in which we try to do things a little bit differently. Always try to be positive if we can. Don't stand dickheads. We don't have any of that shite. We don't have all the squabbling that you get on most of the other ones. You know, we try to keep it as adults as we can. You know, and it isn't just 100% football. We have other little things. We have other little things going on within the group, just for a bit of light-hearted stuff. You know. Podcasts are pretty regular and not like every 10 minutes. We're not, we report stuff when we think we've got stuff to talk about. We also do it in a group as well. We try and break transfers and stuff like that. Today there's been a bit of movement at the Blues. In fact, it all started kicking off a couple of days ago, I think, when it was rumoured that Ian Dutton was about to be leaving the club after, I think, 16 or 17 years of service. It's a long time to work anyway, you know, and I think, to be fair to him, just excuse me one sec. See how professional we are here. Just literally come straight in from work with the dog. He's sitting behind me chewing a chew, and I have just sat straight down, gone straight into it. No notes, never have any notes or anything. Always try to work off my head, which is, I think, the best way to do it. We hear Dutton's gone after 17 years of service. He's seen, oh, God knows, you know, like lots and lots of managers. He's risen through the ranks, eventually to MD. Personally, I've done some bits and pieces with him in terms of interacting with him, representing members of our groups and individuals, and Justice for 21 and stuff like that. You know, I don't know. For me, he's never been a very dynamic man. And of late, particularly, I mean, he did piss me off a bit during the BSCH ownership, particularly when we had that little thing when he suddenly came out of nowhere. No one had heard from him for ages, and suddenly he was going to be transparent. Things were going to be done, you know, this, that, and the other. And it lasted about 4 weeks, and we never heard from him again. And I kept asking, where is he? I've emailed him, nothing, you know. And it's just a strange way to go on for a managing director. And it doesn't matter who the owners are. You know, that's your job. If you want to be owned by someone, and not do your job properly, that's entirely up to you. And if that's what he did, fair play, and he's probably got the just rewards for it. But you know, you can't on one hand say you're going to do this and then not do it, you know. And over the last year or so, he's almost anonymous, to be honest. Trying to get hold of him. Yeah, I mean, I had an instance where I'd sent him an email, nothing back at all. Sent him another email, no response. Sent him another one, and then you know, someone else comes back to me to say that, I'm sorry, you know, like, but Ian has asked me to email you because he's been on holiday and he's only just got back and seen your email. Well, for me, that's an absolute joke. A managing director of a business like Birmingham City doesn't have an email response for when he's away. So in other words, I wouldn't get an email saying, I'm sorry, I'm not in the office until blah, blah, blah. I'll look at your email when I get back. No, he didn't do that. It's just, you know, towards the end, it just started to sound a bit like bullshit to me. And I think that what's happened here is, and I think this is going to be the start of a bit of a clear out at Blues now. I believe that Jeremy Dale is probably the man that's been given this task. Jeremy Dale, of course, who really put together the deal that brought Knighthead to the Blues. You know, there's often Partizan Limited and Shelby companies, and all started by Jeremy Dale really introducing people, putting people together, being a bit of a matchmaker and Mr. Fix-It. I'm pretty sure that he's got his just rewards for it. And I think this job has been given now is to sort out things at BCFC, just below the surface, you know. And it's needed to be done for ages. It's so poor, you know, like, and I hear there's a new guy in there already, or someone that, well, I won't say too much at this stage, but I believe someone is already there that's going to be involved in the day-to-day running of things. You know, already met the ticket office staff and the club shop and that, and that's what we need. You know, I mean, the ticket office really is awful. The club website, well, not the ticket office, but the website is absolutely a joke. You know, I mean, it's cumbersome. It doesn't work a lot of the time, and it's absolute joke when we're desperately trying to sell tickets and people can't buy them. I mean, you know, what's going on there? So look out for some more changes over the next few days. I'd like to wish Ian Dutton, you know, all the best for the future. Thanks for what you've done at the club, and you know, things move on, don't they? So whoever's coming in as well, there hasn't been any official release yet, so we won't say anything more than that. But you know, good luck to you, and you know, change things for us, make everyone a little bit more responsive. We also, of course, well, I actually seen Mowbray's presser for the Swansea game yesterday, and I was absolutely blown away by it. I think he was really brilliant. You know, just the guy just comes across so well. You know, and I can just imagine a conversation with him and Tom Wagner. You know, I mean, two very positive men who show a human side as well. I think a few things came out from it. I think it was quite obvious from what Tom Wagner, from what Moggy said, is that, you know, it was probably something was going on sort of a good week in advance of Rooney getting the bullet. And if I'm honest, you've only got to put two and two together. I mean, I've heard lots of rumours that Gary Cook wanted to keep Rooney until the end of the year, at the end of the season. I'm pretty damn sure he did, you know. And I think Tom Wagner, you know, he's shown he can be ruthless before, and I think he did it again. I think he's picked the phone up to Cookie, and he's told him he's got to go. You know, you got to get rid of him. So that's that. I had someone telling me today that you know, Rooney was sacked. And Wagner didn't even know about it, and he wasn't aware of it until Gary Cook told him he'd sacked him. You know, what a load of bullshit that is. You know, I mean, just not true. So that press conference was great, and even like when he was describing the food that had been put out for the press, you know, absolutely fantastic. It was Premier League food. I like the way he got that. You know, like, he sort of highlights the important stuff. You know, and I think he also made it quite clear that if we're going to be signing anyone in the window, it's probably going to be at the expense of one of our kids, you know, and I would say probably JJ. You know, like he said, if you can get the money from a youngster and buy 3 players, then why wouldn't you, you know, if the lad's happy to go, you know. So I think he sort of spelt that out for us, really. He's obviously had a look at the players. He said he hadn't had a look at the under-21s yet, which I believe. You know, he hasn't. He's probably heard about some of the good lads there from Steve Spooner, but he'll need time to look at that, and that's why I don't think any of the kids will be involved at the weekend. I might be wrong, I don't know, but I doubt it. You know, I believe that Ashley Cole's staying at the club, so I think that's a good thing. He's got Venus there, Mark Venus. So he's got Mike Taylor. He's got a nice little bit of coaching staff. He's got some good backroom staff. Let's give Ashley Cole a chance. We don't know, do we, a lot about him really, because it was all overshadowed by the Wayne Rooney thing. Heard one little rumour. I'm only saying it now because someone actually asked yesterday, have you heard any rumours? I said, well, I've heard a rumour, but I'm not, you know, I'm not going to say anything about it because that's all it is. Well, anyway, it's Aaron Cashin, who is an Irish centre half at Derby. Good player. He's a very, very sort of steady centre half. He's nothing flash. He's not one of these that comes out, plays balls, you know. He's just a good, solid centre half. I believe he's 22 years of age. But the stumbling block, I think Derby want like 3 to 4 million for him. And we know Derby haven't got a pot to piss in at the moment, so we might well try and sort of squeeze him a little bit. But if they are looking for 3 to 4 million, I don't think it's going to happen. So I think that one will probably be out of the window. But you never know. Keep your ear to the ground. We might get something out of that. We might be looking at a couple of loans. It depends who we can send back. I'm really not sure. I think a lot of people want Berkey to go. I'm not sure. We haven't got a lot of height in the team, you know, and irrespective of what you might think about Berkey, he hasn't had a great time with us. He hasn't. But you know, he's a big lad. He's really fast, and if he does nothing else, he draws defenders away from other forwards. You know, and sometimes when we're playing those big long balls, and you've only got like tallest bloke in the front line is 5'10", it sort of defeats the object. You lose the ball 80% of the time. So you know, there's little things to think about when you're looking at players like Chris Burke. There's been a lot of talk about Hogan being given a chance by Mowbray. I think that's all down to a photo where you know Mowbray was talking to Hogan, and sort of had his hand up and was talking to him. You know, and I mean, he could have been saying anything to him, like, you know, what's in your sandwiches or something, you know, or have you got any rebels? But I don't know. So people have taken that to be that he's having a word with Hogan, saying, "Listen, son, I've got faith in you. We'll give you a little go. Let's see how it goes." Let's hope he does, because Scott Hogan on his day, he's a good striker. We've all seen him do it, you know. He's got to have the right service. He plays off the shoulder. He's not, you know, he hasn't got an awful lot to his game, to be honest. He's not like perhaps Tyler Roberts would be. You know, Tyler Roberts got a lot more to his game than Scott Hogan. But, you know, we've yet to really see Tyler Roberts in a run of games. So let's hopefully we might get a look at that, you know. Yeah, that presser was great, and he obviously likes the whole idea, and I think he was sold the club. I think there's make no mistake about it. Tom Wagner's the man that sold the club to him, and I think I said in the podcast last week or something, you know, if you sit down, any manager, if we get any manager into that club or any player, and they manage to sit down and sit opposite Tom Wagner in negotiation, consider it done, right? Because Tom Wagner is absolutely brilliant at selling his dream. You know, in this case, the project, he's obviously sold many other businesses before to people. But you know, he's a very sincere guy. He comes across as being, you know, strong, quietly strong. You know, he has that air of I don't know what it is about him, you know, but he's great. You know, I love him a bit. And he's not a bad looking bloke. No, but joking apart, you know, I mean, he's great, isn't he? You know, he's really strong. You know, he's a different animal altogether to Gary Cook, but they do different jobs. So I'm not going to, like, I don't know, for me, like I've said before, Gary Cook has got to prove himself. Let's see what he does. He obviously knows football inside out. But the thing that worried me about Gary Cook was, you know, why did he stick his neck on the block for Rooney? Why did he do that? You know, it just doesn't make any sense, and I'm still thinking about it. And you know, you might say, well, it was his mate. Doesn't matter if it's your mate. You know, you've got, you know, you're a former Manchester City CEO. You're now the CEO of a club in the second, you know, in the second city in England. You know, don't like give such an important job to your mate if you honestly don't think you can do it. Either that or you had mad faith in him. I just do not understand it. But anyway, I think I've said it before, you know, let's just see what happens. But, you know, Saturday is like a new start, isn't it? You know, we've got the fireworks on the pitch now, you know, before the game. Let's get them during the game now. Let's get that Mowbray style of playing going. Let him look at the players and see where he thinks the strengths are. He'll be taking a lot this week from Steve Spooner, Ashley Cole. You know, they'll be having a word in his ear, giving him like the lowdown on people. But he's a very good judge of players. He said he's already seen them, and it was interesting when he mentioned the first coffee after work. It was interesting when he mentioned the Sunderland Blues game. When, I don't know, like, you know, the way I heard it was, he more or less said, we just got you sussed out, you know. He was very kind about it, and he was very kind about Wayne Rooney, you know. He didn't have a bad word to say against him. He said at the moment, right, you know, Wayne will be hurting, and I'm pretty sure he is. you know. So he seems like a very nice guy. But that Sunderland game, you know, he said we sort of looked, we knew you know that you'd be pressing, we knew that you could break quickly, so we were aware of that, but we also knew that we could go through the middle, you know, and he did, you know, and more or less told me that you're talking now about a manager, a vastly experienced manager, playing against a manager who isn't experienced. He's a brand new manager in the game. He's only young, Wayne Rooney, and trying to like pull a fast one on Mowbray, you know, it ain't going to happen. You know, he sussed you out, and it's fair enough, you know, it happens. But, you know, I think what Wayne Rooney had when he came to us was an absolutely huge load put onto his shoulders, you know. He wasn't ready for it. And I think the idea about, I can't remember, you know, I think someone else had said that in training, you know, the players, a couple of the players have commented, you know, privately, so I'm not going to like name who they are. I've heard what players have said. And basically it's like, when Mowbray speaks to them, they understand him. You know, he sort of says, you know, football, kick, goal, you know, when Wayne Rooney was in charge, it was very, very, very technical. Okay, so when we break like this, your job is to go, you know, very, very technical. And apparently a lot of the players were just switching off during his instruction, you know, or during his talks. And you can sort of understand it. If they don't understand it, you know, it's not good. Footballers need to be able to understand what's required of them on the pitch. And it sort of makes sense when you look back and think they didn't understand it, because you could tell on the pitch that they didn't understand it. So I don't know, you know. Anyway, I don't want to keep talking about Wayne Rooney, but you can't help it. Sometimes I'm still dumbfounded by what happened at the end. And we supported him all the way, but there comes a point when you have to say, not anymore, you know, game's up. So really, you know, that's it. That's it for what I've got to say today. We're playing Swansea on Saturday, and I hope, and I think lots of people hope and probably expect to win. You can't help expecting a win. You know, people say don't expect too much. I expect it to be about 10-0 or something. You know, Super Tony's coming in. And the other thing I liked about what he said in his presser was, I'm like a mad optimist, I am. He said, he was asked, do you think it's too late to go into the playoffs? And he was like, cut a long story short, he said, no. Fucking yes. I'm not the only fucking nutcase. So, you know, there we are, like, you know. So from what he said, right, the food's fantastic. We're going up. What else? He loves Rebels. He loves Tom Wagner. He's fucking great. We love Moggy. I want to hear a little chant on the. Remember the old? I don't know if anyone remembers the yucky. We want a little bit of Moggy, Moggy, Get in there, guys. All right. If you're one of the orchestrators of songs, give Moggy a little chant because he's the man. Listen, you've been absolutely brilliant in your support for us over the last year or so, and it's fantastic. And please remember to press subscribe and follow us. That's what we want you to do. We want you to follow if you can. Facebook page, BCFC, the project. Come and join us. 9,000 members, 5,000 guests, about 1,000 band people. That's good, isn't it, really, when you think about it? Shows we haven't got a lot of idiots. But please come and see us. Hope you've enjoyed the podcast. Leave a few comments for us if you want. Come and join us on the project on Facebook, and we'll see you soon. 3 points on Saturday. All right. Keep right on, guys. Have an absolutely fabulous weekend.